Have you ever caught a faint whiff of something and quietly wondered, is that me? You're not alone and there's no reason to feel embarrassed. In this video, we're talking about 8 surprising bathroom habits that doctors say can make older women smell worse, even when we believe we're being hygienic. Stay with me until the end to learn simple, practical tips that will help you feel fresh, confident, and comfortable in your own skin. Because you deserve to live boldly and beautifully at any age. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, it would mean a lot if you'd help me keep sharing these lessons from life. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd recommend you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a new video. And just for fun, if you like this video, comment the number 1. If you don't, comment the number 0, so I'll know how to make future videos better for you. Now, let's get started. Part 1. Using too much soap. Down there. Ladies, let me share a personal story that completely changed how I think about hygiene. When I was younger, I took my daily shower like a woman on a mission, lathering every inch of my body with heavily scented soaps and body washes. I was especially thorough with my intimate areas, scrubbing away as if I could earn a gold star for cleanliness. I honestly believed that more soap meant more freshness. And those floral-scented feminine products at the drugstore, they only encouraged that thinking. But here's the truth no one told me. Not my mother, not my closest friends, not even my doctor until years later. This overzealous cleaning routine was doing more harm than good. Our intimate areas are wonders of self-care. The vaginal ecosystem maintains its own delicate balance of healthy bacteria and a natural pH, usually between 3.8 and 4.5, that keeps infections away and everything feeling normal. Think of it like a well-tuned orchestra, each part working in harmony. When we use harsh soaps, fragranced body washes, or even gentle feminine hygiene products, we're throwing that harmony off balance. These products often contain chemicals, fragrances, or alcohol that strip away the good bacteria and upset the natural acidity, creating the perfect environment for bad bacteria or yeast to grow. The result? Odor, irritation, and even infections. Not because we're dirty, but because we've overcleaned. I learned this the hard way after years of dealing with discomfort and wondering why my efforts to stay fresh seemed to backfire. Finally, a frank conversation with my gynecologist changed everything. She told me, the vagina is self-cleaning. It doesn't need internal scrubbing. Inside, it naturally produces mucus that flushes out dead cells and bacteria. For the external area, the vulva, warm water is usually all you need. If you prefer a cleanser, choose one that's fragrance-free, pH-balanced, and made specifically for intimate skin. And use it sparingly, only on the outside, never inside. Those wipes, sprays, or douches that promise freshness, they often contain irritants that cause dryness, itching, or worse. My best advice? Trust your body's natural process. The less you interfere, the healthier and fresher you'll feel. And if you notice a persistent odor or discomfort, don't reach for more soap. Reach out to your healthcare provider to check for underlying issues. Your body is wiser than you think. Let it do its job. Part 2. Not washing towels often enough. Now let's talk about something we often overlook. Our bath towels. If I asked you when you last washed yours, would you have to stop and think? I'll admit, I used to be guilty of letting my towel hang in the bathroom far too long. My logic was simple. I'm clean when I step out of the shower, so my towel must be clean too, right? Oh, how wrong I was. It wasn't until I started noticing a faint, musty smell clinging to my skin, even after a good shower, that I realized my towel was quietly sabotaging my hygiene routine. Here's the science behind it. Bath towels love moisture, and bacteria and fungi thrive in damp, warm environments. Every time you dry off and hang your towel in a steamy bathroom, especially one with poor ventilation, you're creating the perfect breeding ground for germs. These can include skin bacteria, mold, and mildew, all of which not only cause that unpleasant odor, but can also transfer right back onto your clean skin. For years, I reused the same towel for an entire week, thinking I was saving water and being eco-friendly. In reality, I was compromising my skin's health. Dermatologists recommend washing bath towels after every 3 to 4 uses. If you live in a humid climate or your bathroom doesn't have good airflow, no windows, or a weak exhaust fan, you may need to wash them even more often, maybe after every 2 uses. Here's what helped me. I started a towel rotation system. I keep 3 towels, one in use, one drying after being washed, and one fresh and ready. That way, I'm never stuck with a damp, germ-filled towel. Another tip, make sure your towel dries completely between uses. Spread it out fully on a rack, never bunch it up. And if your bathroom stays damp, a small dehumidifier can make a big difference. Since I made this change, my skin feels cleaner, my bathroom smells fresher, and that musty towel odor is long gone. It's such a small habit, but it pays off big. If you're still with me and finding these lessons helpful, drop a number 1 in the comments to let me know you're watching along. Part 3, ignoring your feet. Let's get real for a moment. Feet aren't exactly the most glamorous topic. We tend to give them the bare minimum of attention, especially when they're hidden away in socks and shoes all day. I used to be the queen of foot neglect. My shower routine? Let the water run over them, maybe a quick swipe with a washcloth, and call it done. I never scrubbed thoroughly or dried between my toes. As long as they weren't visibly dirty, I assumed they were fine. But as I got older, something changed. A sour, unpleasant smell started coming from my shoes, even on days I hadn't been especially active or sweaty. It was embarrassing, and I couldn't figure out why. The answer lies in how our skin changes with age. Younger skin naturally sheds dead cells more efficiently, but as we age, that process slows down. Dead skin can build up on our feet, especially around the heels and between the toes, becoming a buffet for odor-causing bacteria. Add to that the fact that feet have over 250,000 sweat glands, and you've got a perfect recipe for odor if you're not taking care of them. My bare minimum foot care was letting dead skin and moisture linger, and that was the culprit. Now I treat my feet with the attention they deserve. Every shower, I take a full minute to wash them using a soft washcloth and a mild fragrance-free soap. I gently scrub every part, soles, heels, and especially between the toes where moisture hides. Once a week, I'll use a pumice stone or foot file to remove dead skin, but never more often to avoid irritation. And the real game changer? Drying my feet thoroughly every single time. I use a clean towel and make sure to get between each toe. In the summer or when I wear closed shoes for long hours, I sprinkle a little antifungal foot powder into my socks or shoes to keep them dry and odor-free. Caring for your feet isn't just about eliminating odor. It's about protecting the hardworking foundation that carries you through life. Neglecting them can lead to problems like athlete's foot, cracked heels, or infections, especially if you have conditions like diabetes. So ladies, let's give our feet the love they deserve. A little extra care in the shower, proper drying, and the occasional pampering, maybe a warm foot soak or rich moisturizer will keep them fresh, healthy, and ready for every step you take. After all, happy feet make for a confident you. Part 4, leaving the toilet lid open when flushing. Let's dive into something that might make you chuckle at first, but actually has some surprisingly serious implications. Flushing the toilet with the lid open. When I first learned about this, I laughed. It sounded like something out of a quirky science experiment, but the truth is far from funny, and it's backed by solid research. When you flush a toilet with the lid up, you're setting off what scientists call a toilet plume, a microscopic geyser of tiny, invisible droplets. These droplets can carry bacteria, viruses, and other particles, and they're launched into the air at surprising speeds. Studies show these particles can travel up to 6 feet or more, hanging in the air for minutes, even hours. And here's the kicker. They don't just disappear. They settle on surfaces all over your bathroom. Your toothbrush, sitting innocently on the counter, could be coated. Your hairbrush, towels, or even the skincare products you use every day, all fair game. If you're nearby during a flush, those particles could even land on your skin, or worse, be inhaled. And if you use scented toilet cleaners, air fresheners, or chemical-based products, the plume can carry those chemical particles through the air as well. That's not just unhygienic. It can be irritating to your respiratory system too. The fix? It's wonderfully simple. Always close the toilet lid before you flush. Since I started doing this, my bathroom feels noticeably fresher and cleaner. It's not just about avoiding the ick factor, though that's a strong motivator. Closing the lid greatly reduces the spread of bacteria and odors that can quietly build up over time, even in a spotless bathroom. It's such a small habit, but the payoff is huge. It helps your bathroom stay the peaceful, clean space it's meant to be. After all, the best bathroom is one where you don't notice any odors, because they're simply not there. If you're still watching and finding these lessons helpful, drop a number 2 in the comments to let me know you're here with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Part 5. Wearing the same underwear to bed. Let's talk about a habit many of us have been guilty of, myself included. Picture this. You're winding down for the night, slipping into your favorite cozy pajamas, climbing into bed. Then you pause and think, do I really need to change my underwear? I've just been lounging around, not exactly running a marathon. It's tempting to stick with the same pair you've worn all day, especially if they still feel comfortable. But here's the truth. This seemingly harmless choice can quietly undermine your hygiene and comfort, especially as we get older. All day long, our bodies naturally produce sweat, oils, and moisture, even if we're not doing anything strenuous. Along with that, skin cells and bacteria collect in our underwear. When you wear the same pair to bed, you're pressing all of that against your skin for hours in a warm, enclosed environment. Prime real estate for odor-causing bacteria to thrive. This is especially true if your underwear is made from synthetic materials like nylon, polyester, or spandex, which don't breathe as well as natural fabrics. Over time, that can mean more moisture, more irritation, and yes, more morning odor. The solution is simple. Change into a fresh, clean pair before bed. Doctors and dermatologists recommend choosing underwear made from breathable fabrics like cotton that allow air to circulate and help wick away moisture. And if you're comfortable with it, there's an even bolder option. Skip underwear altogether at night. Giving your skin a chance to breathe can reduce irritation, keep things drier, and help you feel fresher when you wake up. Since I started this habit, I've noticed a subtle but real improvement in how I feel in the mornings. It's one of those small changes that feels surprisingly luxurious and keeps you feeling your best. Part 6. Not cleaning the bathroom. Trash bin. Let's confess to something many of us have done, or rather, not done. For years, I never thought twice about my bathroom trash bin. I kept a small lidded bin near the toilet for convenience, tossing in used tissues, cotton swabs, hygiene products, you name it. My routine was simple. Empty it when it was full, and that was that. What I didn't realize was that this little bin could be quietly sabotaging the freshness of my otherwise clean bathroom. Here's the issue. Even a small trash bin can become a breeding ground for odors and bacteria if it's not cleaned regularly. Every item you toss in, whether it's a damp tissue, a used hygiene product, or even a harmless cotton pad, adds tiny amounts of moisture and organic material. In a lidded bin, all of that stays trapped, creating a warm, humid environment where bacteria and even mold can thrive. Over time, this creates a faint but stubborn odor that lingers no matter how much you scrub the rest of your bathroom. I didn't even notice it at first. I had gotten used to it, but guests could smell it the moment they walked in. The fix is quick and easy. Now I empty my bathroom bin every few days, no matter how full it is. Once a week, I wipe it down inside and out with a disinfectant spray or a vinegar-based cleaner. For extra freshness, I sprinkle a little baking soda or add a few drops of essential oil to the bottom before replacing the bag. It takes less than 5 minutes, but it's completely transformed my bathroom's atmosphere. The space feels fresher, cleaner, and more inviting. And people notice. This tiny habit is one of those small details that makes a big difference in creating a truly hygienic home. Part 7. Using old or unwashed bathrobes. Picture this. You've just stepped out of a warm, relaxing shower. Your skin feels fresh and clean. You reach for your favorite bathrobe, hanging right where it always does, and wrap yourself in its soft embrace. It's cozy, comforting, like a hug from an old friend. But here's a question you might not want to answer. When was the last time you washed that bathrobe? If you're like I used to be, you might have to admit you can't remember. Bathrobes trick us into thinking they're always clean because we only wear them after showering. Surely they can't be harboring anything unpleasant, right? Unfortunately, wrong. After a shower, your skin is still damp, and that moisture transfers into the robe's fabric. If it's crumpled on a hook in a poorly ventilated bathroom, that dampness lingers. Over time, bacteria, mold, and mildew can take hold, turning your cozy robe into a breeding ground for odors. You might not notice right away, But eventually that musty scent clings to the robe, and even to your freshly cleaned skin. It can leave you smelling less than fresh before the day even starts. The solution is simple. I now wash my bathrobe every week. No exceptions. I even bought a second robe so I can rotate between them. And when I hang my robe, I choose a spot with plenty of airflow instead of letting it sit in a damp corner. The result? My robe smells like fresh laundry, clean, crisp, and inviting. It feels just as luxurious as stepping out of the shower itself. Once you make this change, you'll never go back to the days of, "I'll wash it eventually." Part 8. Forgetting to clean your underarms after shaving. Here's a hygiene tip that completely caught me off guard, and I'm willing to bet it might surprise you too. For the longest time, I thought shaving my underarms automatically meant they were cleaner. After all, less hair means less sweat and odor to cling to, right? Well, yes and no. When you shave, you're not just removing hair. Your razor also acts like a mini exfoliator, scraping off dead skin cells, leftover deodorant, and some of the bacteria living there. Sounds great in theory, but here's the catch. All that debris doesn't just vanish. It can stay sitting right there on your skin, especially in those freshly shaved pores. And if you leave it, you've basically created the perfect breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria. That means instead of smelling fresher, you could actually end up smelling worse. So what's the fix? It's super simple. After shaving, rinse your underarms with warm water. Use a clean, soft washcloth to gently wipe away any leftover residue. Pat the area dry with a fresh towel. No harsh scrubbing. Your skin is sensitive right after shaving. Give it a few minutes to breathe before applying deodorant or antiperspirant. I usually take this time to do my skincare routine, and by the time I'm done, my underarms are completely fresh and ready for the day. Since adding this one little step, I've noticed a huge difference. That stubborn odor I sometimes got, even after shaving, is gone. Now I feel fresh for much longer. It's a tiny change, but trust me, it's a game changer. If you found these tips helpful, give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who could use a little extra freshness in their day. And don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Mind for more practical advice, friendly stories, and simple ways to make everyday life a little better.